All right. Good morning, boys and girls. Ross Reservoir here, owner of Aruba ROI Marketing. Hopefully you could join us today for today's episode, number 18. We're cranking along. I love it. Last week, if you remember, we actually started a presentation that talked about tips on helping you with content marketing. And it was quite a lengthy one, so we split it in half. So this is part two. And we will jump right in because I want to also talk a little bit about what we spoke about last week in case you missed it. So if you did, you can always go back to last week's post that has the video live and you can check it out. So let me first and foremost get me out of the way here. All right, there we go. And let me get this real quick. Give me just a second. Sorry, it takes a second to always have to. Of course, with the internet too, things seem to be slowing down. Unfortunately, it's all last week. It was really. Oh my! It is really slow. So give it just a second. My apologies. We're only streaming this, so I'm not sure what's up. Right. So as you can see, it's still searching, and I think I was actually supposed to download this onto my computer. Would have been make it faster, and I forgot. So my apologies. We're at the mercy of how fast or slow the internet is, and it seems to be very slow. So okay, so I'll try to through memory here, which isn't very good usually. Let me talk a little bit about what we started discussing. There it is, content marketing, and I will make sure that I'm ahead of the game because I knew that last week too. I had to click well in advance. Again, as you know, ARO Marketing is located here in Aruba. We launched back in February of 2000 as AIM Group and incorporated in 2015. We've got an awesome team. So again, if you need help with anything marketing related, digital marketing, automation, let us know. Sure. All right. So what's that? It's showing. All right, so here's what we did cover last week is we spoke a little bit about why content marketing and what it is, and then we talked about 7 steps for success. And last week we talked about starting a blog, knowing how to build a social media presence on the social channels that your audience uses. So again, it means you need to understand who you're actually targeting and where they hang out, and then you should be at the same place they're hanging out. You don't need to go on all 30 different platforms to try to hit everyone. It's not going to work. You need to figure out who it is you're talking to, make sure the message speaks to that person, and then find out where they hang out, and then that's where you need to be. Starting an email newsletter, where we heard that before, that has been definitely something that we've spoken about many times. And of course, creating content that corresponds with a basic customer sales funnel, which we have been talking about for a while now on maximizing what actually a sales funnel is and how to maximize it for your business. Today, we're going to talk about building a content calendar, which is very helpful. Creating a variety of content types, different ways to, different types of content. And then also mining customer reviews and testimonials, which is actually very important in nowadays. And we hope to have more information about that coming soon. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to create this marketing strategy related to content marketing. And then we'll have a small conclusion of that. So let me get this ball rolling because there we go. All right. So the 5th tip or step here was is to build a content calendar, right? So while it's important to do the work to establish your buyer personas and then deliver them the content, it is also important to do it on a consistent basis and delivering relevant content. So we suggest building a content calendar. As a matter of fact, it is something that our team uses with our clients. And we actually have one that I'm going to showcase here in just a second. So instead of scrambling to create content and sort of like, oh, what am I going to do today? Building a monthly calendar actually helps you to identify what types of content you're going to have. The social posts, is it going to be blogs, emails, or whatever other content you'd like to create for that month? So it means a little bit of planning ahead. We actually have an entire calendar for the entire year, which is very helpful. It also helps to identify what holidays are coming up so that you're prepared for that as well. Not only does this strategy keep you organized, but it also allows your readers to get comfortable with a schedule of content to kind of know, oh, okay, what's the cadence? How often are they posting and where, right? And that just builds continued trust and familiarity with your brand. All right, this is an example of a calendar. I apologize for all the arrows, but I was trying to figure out the best way to see this, especially if you're on a mobile device. But this happens to be our content calendar for April 2022. As you can see, holidays are in there. Yes, April Fool's Day is not an official holiday, but it is one of those things that people do talk about. So it's always nice to have content related to that. National Siblings Day, again, not a holiday, but something that actually people enjoy these kinds of things. Then, of course, there's Easter Monday, depending on where you live. So holidays are definitely worth making sure that you have on your calendar, especially if your audience maybe celebrates different holidays than you do. It's having those holidays on there as well, right? So we make sure that we have not only our local holidays, which are quite different than, let's say, the North American market, whether that's the United States or Canada. So we try to really look at everything. Right. What you're looking at on the right-hand side where it says holidays, get to know, promote, and other, these are different types of posts. So basically a get to know can be one of two things. It's get to know your customer day, right? So you can ask followers of your social media something about them. What is your favorite color? Or especially if it's related to what's going on at that time or in that particular month, right? So right after Easter, you could have, asked the question, did you have kids? Do you have kids, and did you take them out Easter egg hunting? So you're getting to know them, but at the same time, you can also post things about you personally or your business so that they can get to know you, right? Of course, you want to promote, but we always say, listen, 3, 4, 5 content posts first before trying to sell something. And it doesn't even have to be that you're selling, but just promoting yourselves as to like what kind of services you offer. So maybe there's something that you didn't know about this particular company that you now know because it's being shared. So that's something that's of value. And then other would be, a variety of different things. It could be a motivational quote, it could be, adding photos or videos, something related to your business, could be behind the scenes, a brain teaser, those kinds of things. So having this all planned out really, really helps. Now, as you can see, our calendar is quite full. We do this we have 365 days mapped out for the entire year. Quite helpful. You don't necessarily have to be that, attentive to each of those days, but it certainly does help. And if you really need help with a calendar, let us know, because it is something that we do and we have available for our customers. All right. So step number 6 is creating a variety of content types. All right. So in a competitive landscape, it's important to stand out however you can. So one way your small business can achieve this is through content marketing strategy. Again, knowing in advance what you're going to do and then making sure that you do it correctly. All right. So doing a deep dive into both your existing content and your competitors' content is actually quite valuable. See what's resonating with audiences and what isn't. Once you've established a desired result, we want to try to replicate that success with your upcoming content, right? So if you notice that videos are really hot for you and you're getting a lot of traction, obviously it's a good idea to try to do more videos, right? So now it's time to get creative, all right? So don't be limited by what already exists. Take your latest blog post and turn it into an infographic. You can take that infographic and turn it into a white paper. Take the white paper and make it into a series of quote centric social tiles. Right. So there's a lot of ways to not only take advantage of and be creative, but also repurpose something. Just don't do one thing and then let it sit there. You can definitely, like, for instance, if you did a lengthier video that explains something, maybe you take out snippets of the video as short posts. Right. Short video is something we will be talking about very soon and hopefully implementing ourselves. It's also quite hot right now. Right. So the content creation possibilities are limitless. And of course, feel free to always reach out to companies like ours that you can brainstorm with. What do you suggest for this? What do you suggest for that? I think we could actually have a great brainstorming session about that. All right, so mining customer reviews and testimonials. This is huge. 97% of local consumers use online media, including reviews, to search for local services. If you're a small local business, that means your reviews can be instrumental in driving your business. Right? We don't think it's just small business. We believe all businesses. So make those reviews work as hard as you do by bringing them to life through social posts and testimonials on your website and your blog as well. By sourcing the best quotes and ascribing a face to the name, you make that review much more personal, creating a consumer-generated ad that speaks for itself, right? So anytime someone reaches out and says, hey, you guys did a great job, you should be sharing that, all right? So how do you create a small business marketing strategy? Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Fine-tune your buyer personas. We've talked about this many times in the past, but it's incredibly valuable. We call it an avatar. You're basically painting the picture of that person that you believe is in most need of your services, right? So building a buyer persona allows you to establish a better understanding of your audience and their respective pain points, which is also helpful when you do advertising or create a sales page. By determining who is purchasing your products, you can assess which content they need and when. So that's number one. Two, identifying valuable consumer content. So consumers don't want content just for the sake of having content, right? They want content that's going to help them solve their problems. So after you've identified buying personas, work to identify what content assets can best serve your buyers' unique needs, right? So putting out those short videos that might actually explain something that will help them, especially if it's a pain point for your buying persona. All right, so 3, setting business goals. Well, this is important regardless, but this is important for the content marketing strategy. Setting business goals that align with your marketing strategy can feel overwhelming at first, but using the principle of SMART goals to make your benchmarks reasonable and reachable is quite valuable. So SMART stands for being specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. And I'm sure that most of you have already heard of this before. It's been around for a long time, but it's applicable in multiple facets of your business. Number 4, solidifying distribution channels. So you've got your content ready to go and your goals ready to measure. It's finally time to start sharing your content. While it'd be nice that every piece of content performs well on every channel, that's not the case, and we know that. Determining which pieces of content are appropriate for which channel to ensure success and reach is important. Establishing that cadence, we talked about that earlier. It's not good enough to deliver one piece of content and then just sit around hoping that the phone's going to ring. You must establish a cadence that regularly delivers quality content to your consumers. That's why the content calendar is so important, all right? So why do small businesses need content marketing? Even though you're a small business, you most likely have big competition. To make your business stand out among the crowd and grow your audience, you need a content marketing strategy that allows you to demonstrate your value to future and current consumers. And the future part is really helpful because people need to hear and see and touch your message multiple times, usually up to 7 times before they might even click to actually do something. So what are some examples of content marketing? Examples include blog posts, infographics, social media campaigns, podcasts, white papers. White papers are like use case studies, right? Something that's useful for your particular market. Ebooks, downloadable PDFs, and YouTube videos, of course. Any type of media that is free to access and brings in leads to your website is content marketing. So what is the best content marketing strategy for a small business? Well, having clearly delineated buyer personas is vital for a strong small business content marketing strategy. Without these personas, your content really won't have clear direction or purpose, which would result in low audience interaction, which is not the goal. You want higher. So how should small businesses create content for their content marketing strategy? Well, small businesses content marketing is all about solving your buyers' pain points. And usually it's more than one. So that should give you some great ideas on the type of content that you can create. So after you've identified the personas, all created content should center both around the respective pain points and what point the buyer is within the funnel. So where are they in your funnel? We spoke about that last week as well. All right, so here's the conclusion of our presentation for today. While your small business content marketing may be minuscule or small, it doesn't mean that you can't undertake most, if not all, of the previous 8 strategies. After successfully defining your buyer persona, you're well on your way to developing a winning content marketing strategy that can grow your audience and increase sales. Very important. So let me see if I have any questions. This is our contact information. And let me reach back over here. My apologies, because I had to move it over to a different screen so I could see. Oh, actually, that didn't work out. Oh, there we go. Let's see here. Live chat. No, I don't have any questions. So thank you very much for your time. Next week, I don't have a subject matter yet scheduled, but we will have one, even though I won't be on island. And if you have any questions, please comment below or reach out to us at any one of these methods. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Have a great weekend.